Hi everybody, I'm Aryan Rasoulipour. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I want to talk about semantics, which is one of the most important fields in linguistic and language sciences. Okay, what is semantic? In the other words, semantic is the study of meaning in language, particularly of those meanings that are conventionally encoded by linguistic expressions. Okay, the another question that you can ask me right now is that what is meaning in fact in linguistic? Linguistic expressions have a stable meanings that combine in regular ways to express an unbounded number of imaginable thoughts. And another question that could be asked here is that how many types of semantics do we have? Okay, we have two main types of semantics rules: lexical semantics and also compositional semantics. Okay, what are the description of these two types of semantics? This lexical semantics are the rules that are study the sense of individual lexemes and morphemes. But the compositional semantics shows how the sense of a complex sentences, a complex expressions or meaning is related to the sense of individual parts. Now, one of the most remarkable point here is that what's the differences between semantics and pragmatics. Okay, semantics studies the meaning of directly encoded by linguistic groups forms, while pragmatics studies the ways people actually use language to accomplish their communicative goals and targets. Okay, the one other realms that are very important in semantics is that propositions and prepositional statements. Does the words have their prepositions by their own? Not at all. But they do have prepositional lexical items as a set of prepositions that it contributes to the text or utterances. Okay? For example, I can deliver some example of this part for you to clarify it much more than before. Imagine the word of kiss or kissed. Okay? Imagine it inside your mind. Now imagine this phrase: X kissed Y or Z. X kissed Z. Okay? Now we can distinguish this phrase into four main parts for individual segments. X did something. Something happened to Z, and X deliberately touched Z, and X finally used X's lips to touch Z. All of them to each other, if we mix them to each other, contributes these terms and these hypothetical circumstances that X kissed Z. So they are entailments of the kiss as a verb. This is the definition of entailments as a part of one of the most important part of the semantic in linguistics. Okay, but what are the relationship between these four main segmental to the kiss word? This relationship that's correlated to each other is called propositional schemas. Okay, so we have four main types. I repeat it: X did something, and B, something happened to Z. X deliberately touched Z, and D, X used X's lips to touch Z, and finally X kissed Z. All of them are in propositional schemas, are in prototype of the entailments part of linguistic sciences, especially in semantic. Okay, but I mentioned here as a prototype. What are the prototypes? The most typical member of a category serving as cognitive reference point are prototypes. For example, a chair is the prototype for furniture. A bed is a prototype for animal. A sparrow is a prototype to bird. An apple is a prototype to fruit. And a green is a prototype, more evident prototype to colors. And dog is prototype to pet. But imagine, on the contrary, these are some examples that are not clearly and transparently prototypary relationship with each other. For example, lion is not a common prototype to pet. Silver is not really evident prototype to color. A bourgeon is not a prototype to fruit. But in fact, television is part of home, but is not a common prototype as a furniture, and penguin even not considered a prototype of bird, whereas it's in fact it's bird because it's not flying. Okay? Now I want to talk about some lexical semantics relations types that are using commonly in daily and ordinary and formal languages. We have four main types of relationship as a lexical semantics relations: synonymy, antonymy, hyponymy, hypernymy. Okay, let me deliver some example from each of them. For example, synonymy, imagine it. Rich, wealthy, cold, frigid, cold. They are all synonyms. So they are in a synonymy relationship. Antonymy. This relation is very evident for daily life. It means something that they are not equal or in contract, in comparison to each other. For example, rich and poor are antonyms. Cold and hot lexically are antonyms. These are two types of relations in semantic are very evident for most of the people, synonyms and antonyms. But the two other types are not very common studied throughout society. For example, hyponymy. For example, mega rich is a hyponymous of rich people. Glacial is hyponymous of cold. And examples like this. But hypernymer is something that should be one to consider to other group of people or things or objects, subjects, anything. For example, princess should be a lady. So princess is a hypernymer to a lady. Pope, as a Catholic pope, Catholic Church pope should be a man. So pope is a hyponymy to a man. And examples like this, or queen should be a hyponymy to a lady. King should be a hyponymy to the man. So we can't have, in fact, a lady king. It's meaningless nonsense at all. Okay? But how many types of synonyms we have in any language? It's various among other languages, but in English, we have two types of synonymous words: regional and register. Regional, as it's evident by its name, they are synonyms in a specified locational context, but register ones are particularly useful in social context that belongs to them individually by their own. And antonyms have also divided in two parts of antonyms: reversive and conversive. Okay? Reversive antonyms, something like come and go. They are totally in contract with each other. Melt and freeze. They are paradoxical totally. But some of them are not really, in fact, focusing and concentrating highly on paradoxical relations. They are conversive, something that are not, that they could happen besides each other, but they are antonyms. Something like husband and wife, prisoner and police officer, learner, trainer, professor, student. They are in antonyms, but they are not in opposite to each other. That's it. Thank you for attending on my YouTube channel. Please don't forget, if you have any question, so I will be very pleased that I would respond to them, and I would be very pleased that I could see your nice comments and questions in comment box in below to this video. Please don't forget to subscribe my channel, and if you prefer this video, share to your friends and hit the like button and subscribe it to further videos that I will upload if you prefer, and push the notification to be notified for them. That's it. Farewell, goodbye, and have a good time.